Hello, it's Victoria from Coastal Themes, and I am back with another Webflow tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you really quickly how to add drop shadows to any element in Webflow. So this is pretty hidden. You do have to kind of scroll and know exactly what you're looking for to find the drop shadow feature. And this is really great for adding shadows to buttons, to sections. Maybe you want a shadow underneath your header. It's super easy, super quick. So I'm going to use it on this button here. So we made this button in our button tutorial the other day. And we have a few settings on the right hand side. We have size, position, typography, backgrounds, borders, and then finally we have effects. And there's a few things here. We've got our blend modes, we've got the opacity, outlines, and then we have box shadows, and that is what you want to be looking for. So you simply hit the plus icon and you can decide if you want a outer shadow, so that is kind of your typical shadow you'd expect, or an inner shadow that if you want the shadow to appear inside the element. Sometimes when you have a button on default mode and then hover mode, the shadow might move from being inside to outside to show that it's kind of been pressed. So you can kind of play around with these different effects in order to get the impact you want. So we're going to keep it as an outside shadow, and you can control your different settings here. So we'll start with the color actually. So this is the color of your shadow. So maybe if you're doing a glow, you might want a red glow on this button. For example, you'd make it red, but if you're just looking for like a traditional shadow, you would kind of be working in the gray zone. And then we've got size, and this is the spread of the shadow. So the bigger the number of pixels, the wider the shadow spreads from the element. So we're going to leave this as 1. And then we've got blur, so it will take this size and it will blur it even further, but obviously more as a blur effect. So if I make the size larger, you'll be able to see that it's blurring it so many pixels instead of it being super sharp like this. So let's blur it 8, but we'll keep the size 1. And then we've got the X and Y positioning. So if you want the shadow to be more on the left side or the right side, you will use the X positioning. So we've got negative numbers which fall to the left hand side and positives which are on the right hand side. So depending on where your hypothetical light source is coming from or how you want to create the shadow, you can control this with the X and Y. Y would obviously be positive numbers go down and negative numbers go up. So if you're following a system like material design, for example, there are specific systems of shadows and depths that you might need to use, and so you would want to kind of get more technical with these settings. And then once you're done creating these settings, you simply click away and you've got this here, and you can always click back in and edit it as needed. If you want to hide it or show it, there is an eye icon, and you can also delete as needed as well. And that's it. That's how you add shadows on Webflow. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And we've also added a link to our very new, very own Webflow themes now available on coastalthemes.com. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!